welcome back to my kitchen, and welcome to those of you who are new and watching for the first time. Today I want to show you a recipe that I have tried to keep a secret for quite a while, but it's one of my family's favorite dish. And before I share the secret of this recipe, let me know in the comments what your favorite pasta is or what your favorite sauce is. I'm a very creamy type of a girl because I love the creaminess and thickness of sauces on my pastas. So I love Alfredo, I love just creamy tomato or anything in that similarity. I love it, and I hope you stick around because this is actually a really good recipe. My family loves it. It's the recipe that they've asked me for a really long time. They asked me to cook it for events or just family get-togethers and holidays. I wanted to actually share the secret with you and give out the recipe so that you can try it and enjoy it just as much as my family and I do. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients that we're going to use for this recipe. I will be using 1 whole stick of butter, heavy cream. I got this one at Trader Joe's. Parmesan cheese because I love cheesy pastas. Cotija cheese. Your favorite pasta. I like this recipe with spaghetti. Let's get into the herbs that we'll be using for the sauce. I use 1 whole bunch of cilantro, and cilantro is the main ingredient for this recipe. I do add a small bunch of parsley just because I love the taste of parsley in pastas. However, I don't add too much so that it overpowers the taste of the cilantro. I add a little bit of spinach and then a few leaves of basil. I will be using 3 jalapenos, and the reason I'm using 3 jalapenos is because they're still not extremely ripe, which means that they're not extremely spicy. So they might have a little bit of more of a mild spice to them. You can substitute serranos. For some reason I couldn't find serranos yesterday where I went, so I got the jalapenos, but the serranos I would use 2 to 3 as well to give it a little bit of spice. We will be using 3 garlic cloves, 1 on the skillet, and 2 to blend our sauce with. And onion. I will probably only use about 1/8 of an onion, not too much. And then I will use salt and pepper to taste. So I have all of my things washed, so I'm going to put the whole bunch of cilantro into my blender. I also have the parsley, add about this much to it. And the spinach. I'm just going to cut off these little stems at the end here. Put them in here. 2 leaves of basil. And then 2 garlic cloves that will go into the blender as well. And 1/8 of an onion. I'm going to remove the stems from the jalapenos. And I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of the heavy cream to help everything blend together. Add about 1 cup of water to the mix. If it needs more water, just keep adding a little bit more water. So what I'm going to do now is chop up this garlic. going to dice it because it's going straight in with the butter to infuse it with flavor. I have one pot and a pan here. The pot, I filled it up with water and I'm going to season it with salt. One thing that I actually recently learned that I didn't know is that you have to really season the water where you put the pasta, because no matter how seasoned your sauce is, your pasta is going to taste bland. And another thing that I learned, and I probably said this to a lot of people, was to use a little bit of oil in your water when you're going to cook it, because it helps with the sticking. But actually I learned that if you just stir it constantly, it won't stick, because otherwise the oil is going to act as like a slippery consistence that will not let the sauce attach and adhere itself onto the pasta. So if you do that now, maybe it's a good time to stop doing that, because that's what I used to do and apparently it's not the right way to cook pasta. So let's season it with salt and then let's go ahead and get started on our sauce. In this water I have it at medium heat. This one I'm going to start it off between low and medium flame. Unsalted is my preference because that way you can control the salt. Now that the butter is melted, let's go ahead and add in the garlic that you chopped. We are going to let the garlic turn into like a golden brown. We don't want it to burn because then that gives a different taste. But once it's a little bit golden brown, we're going to add 2 cups of heavy cream onto here. Okay, so now this has been cooking for about a minute. It's turning golden brown. Let's go ahead and add in our whipping cream. Now we're going to stir it. I'm going to bring it down to low so that we can let it simmer. I'm kind of doing this like whisking type motion so that everything kind of binds together. So let's say that you're making the pasta and the sauce with sour cream. You would follow the same steps that I did up until the point that I added the garlic. And then if by that point your pasta is already cooked, then you would add in your pasta instead of the heavy cream. Once your pasta is completely covered with that butter, then you would add in the sauce that you made in the blender, so the greens, you would add that in, let it cook for a couple minutes, and then add the sour cream and maybe cook it for a few seconds, for maybe 30 seconds or so. That will give it the creaminess that you want. So as you can see, if you can see it, the sauce is coming to a little bit of a boil. So this is very similar to like Alfredo, if you will. I'm going to add now about a cup of Parmesan cheese. One way that you know that your sauce is ready is if it sticks to your spoon like that. So that means that it's thick enough. My water has come to a boil, so I will put in the spaghetti, and because my spaghetti isn't ready yet, I have turned off the flame on my sauce, and I will wait for the spaghetti to cook, and then I will add it in. So it's been about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, and I'm going to try noodle, and it's actually cooked al dente now. So we're going to leave it here while we turn back our sauce. Before it gets hot, we are going to add in the greens. It looks like it's quite a lot. I'm going to do half of it first and see how I like it. That seems like about enough green for me. So now I'm going to season it. Let's crush some pepper into here. Let's do just a teaspoon. Let's mix that in. Okay, so now what we want to do is, as it's coming back to a boil, drain our pasta and then bring it into our sauce. So this is the finished product. Let's go ahead and plate it. So, because I love cheese, I will be adding a little bit of more Parmesan cheese on it. And here I have shredded the Cotija cheese, if you can see it. I'm gonna grab a spoonful of this and just pour it over. Oh. And then I have a little bit of chopped basil, and I will put that right on top as well. And there you have it. Okay, so now for the moment of truth. What does it taste like? Let me grab a little bit of basil here. And a little bit of the Cotija cheese. I love the sauce. So good. And the basil, when you add in the chopped basil, it gives it a little bit of like that kick that basil has to it. It's like very fresh. Oh, I hope you try this recipe because it's actually very, very good. That is all that I have for you today. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot to know that these are the kinds of videos that you want to see. Subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. Also, click the bell so that you get notified every time that I upload a video. I will see you in the next one. Adios.